The next one is from Sam Folden. Subject is Excalibur and KO saying the N-word. So here's a clip of Excalibur and Owens saying the N-word. What do you think about trolls digging up old vids of what wrestlers or commentators say decades or so ago and try to get them canceled? First, Sammy and now Excalibur, who wasn't on the Dynamite show last night. Do you think he should be punished for cutting a promo years ago using the N-word? The second one, he used it with a harder, so he may have gotten permission from the other talent he said it to, but does that make it okay, or should he have known better? Some Sam Highskyder. First of all, this is years and years ago, and the culture was different. I mean, they apologized. They've already apologized for it. Nobody's going to do that in this day and age. And,
Well, show the clip so we can see. I've never seen this.
Oh, you never seen the clip? Yeah.
No.
Okay, play it, Joe.
Have you?
Got it?
Yeah, I was ready with this.
Yeah,
one.
I saw the clip. It's just, bro, this is old. Was it Ring of Honor or PWG?
It was PWG.
Yeah, this is all. It's very indie stuff. So look, just check it out. And supposedly the guy that he was in the angle with wanted him to use racial overtones in the thing like this. Supposedly it was a thing back then, but bro, in 2000, when was this? 2003?
Yeah, 2 or 3.
Bro, what was the exposure of this? I mean, I'm sure it was just for their fan base. I mean, the PWG probably wasn't, all over social media. Like, Twitter wasn't even around back then, was it?
Twitter was not.
Super Dragon, do you think you can replace myself and Disco Machine
Not a fucking
with a bang and a fucking nigger? Does the N-word offend you? You made the right choice. And hey,
I'll be honest with you. This is 2003, right? I could definitely see that in like some spot show, indie show, 30 people in rural Georgia. Like a guy kind of, but out west, the PWG's in California, right?
Yeah.
That's very. I don't get the West Coast vibe out of that. I'm surprised they did that.
Like I
but
said,
that's still 17 years ago, and the kid said he supposedly like the kid he said it to
Human Tornado
supposedly gave him the okay to say it.
Yeah,
and they apologized soon after this.
I said on the show last time we brought it up, or a round table, whatever it was, that from what I read, PWG did this stuff back then to try to get attention. They did racially charged angles, language, shit like that, and that this was supposedly Human Tornado's idea for them to say it, and those guys did bring it up years ago and apologized
for it. Who
for
started PWG?
Joey Ryan, Excalibur, Super Dragon. There was like
so God forbid there must have.
Yeah.
So this organization that became like the premier organization for indie workers to go wrestle matches because you get to wrestle in front of Meltzer and stuff. And
Regal, Konnan.
This organization has a history of blatant racially charged language, and now we see there's probably like a culture of sexual
deviance,
harassment. I mean, because like Joey Ryan's been doing that sexual harassment stuff for years, supposedly. So I mean, bro, the wrestling is this is what people don't realize is that even in WCW, when we tried to become corporate and Konnan wrestled in Mexico, so bro, we're this business is a carny business. It's never been corporate. The foundation of it's never been corporate. It's never been politically correct. It's just like it's a lie. We took circus acts, we put it on the main stage, we did it in front of fans that knew what they were getting into and stuff. And it's just there's a history of stuff like this in the history of wrestling. It's like things like this has happened. Yeah,
and the thing is that wrestling from its inception, just from the fact that it was a work, has always had a rebellious nature to it. You know what I'm saying? Until it became corporate, but it still has that our embryonic, is
it's in the DNA.
Always been it's in the DNA. It's always been rebellious, bro.
Baron von Raschke literally used to walk around and do the Heil Hitler thing.
Yeah,
okay,
right.
because his character was a German Nazi.
Colonel De Beers.
Now it's like, you could always, like back in the day, and it's graduated from these people started getting offended and outraged, but you were always a character. Like when you were at the ring, it was kayfabe. It's just like, but that you wasn't the real you out there. But like now we've kind of like the wrestling fans today, like in this culture of the outrage culture, they kind of marry the person and the character and think that like if the character sits on the TV, that's the person saying it too. And it's like, it's just it never really was like that.
Well,
Konnan, Like, bro, listen to this podcast, okay? Then go watch Konnan cutting promos and stuff for things as his character, as his wrestling character. It's two different people. You're portraying two different personas, But people will say, like, see your character and think you're like that in real life, So
right, a lot of people don't have problems, especially in Mexico, differentiating between the person and the persona. Mm-hmm. And but as far as the N-word, and everybody has their own personal take on it. I've always been the type of person. If you're a white guy, you should not be using that word in any context, in any time frame, at any time. When I heard Hogan use it, I was very disappointed, especially when he came up with the excuse that, back in Tampa. Now, I grew up in Miami, which is like 2 hours from Tampa. Back in Tampa, we used to use that all the time with the brothers. And that's like, no, you didn't. Nobody was calling them that back then either, unless you wanted your ass whooped. And so, like, I got into a big argument with MSL on MLW for the same thing, because he thought it was funny to be quoting quotes with the N-word from a Rick Ross song. And I was like, bro, don't use that shit around me. Oh, well, and then some other guy came on and was, well, when I sing it around my friends, well, if your black friends are cool with you singing that around them and they gave you a pass, that's cool. Don't do that shit around me. I just don't put up with racist rhetoric. And that's just me.
But I think in this day
and that was stupid, because what they did is they were trying to get cheap heat. That's all they were trying to do.
Right. And now how many fans were there? There's a handful of fans.
And here's the other problem that, we were talking about this with the Ellen DeGeneres thing. Here she was, this virtue signaler, always, you got to do this and you got to do this, and I'm LGBTQ, and now she's about to lose her show. All these people that are out there talking shit. Just remember, somebody were to dig into your past and look for shit you did. I am 1,000% sure we can find shit on everybody. So let's cut the bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And this guy made a mistake 17 years ago. It's probably a teenager trying to get cheap heat for some fucking angle, made a lapse in judgment. It's over. It's over. You don't got to keep fucking crucifying the guy forever. Now, if this is a repetitive pattern, or a guy that doesn't give a fuck or doesn't show any remorse, bury the motherfucker.
Everybody in this day and age, from like the past 5 years, let's call 5, 6, 7 years on, right? Everybody should know better. Literally, we all know better. Okay, so if you're doing it in the era of knowing better, then there's a problem. But back in the days, bro, like I said, I always tell people this outrage culture. If you want to start judging people on every word that's ever come out of their mouth, look in the mirror and start right there, and let me know if you're comfortable with being judged yourself. And I think
it's almost like the shit with the statues, bro. There's not going to be no fucking statues. There's no perfect person,
right?
It's a statue. This is the guy that discovered America. And he was fucked up. We know he's fucked up. We're not putting it up there because he was fucked up. We're putting it up there because he discovered something.
Right, the country we live in.
I'm sure I was reading shit of Henry Ford. He was a racist motherfucker.
He was a Nazi sympathizer.
Yeah,
absolutely. He was like a Nazi, actually.
Right. But yet we're not stopping driving Ford cars, and you can go down the list of a lot of great men who did a lot of stupid shit, because back in their day, slavery was accepted. That's just the way it was, know. And so, I mean,
I've said this. You
can't go back and put today's rules 200 years ago, when they still thought witches were a thing in Salem. They were burning chicks because they were witch. You know what I'm saying? You can't do that.
I'm going to give you a perfect example. Okay, it's all these people in this day and age and everything, bro. We can fast forward 10 years from now, and remember how I talked about the word, the phrase,
right?
And I say, okay, well, pretty soon they're going to start saying imbecile. You're not going to be able to call people imbecile, morons, or idiots.
Right.
10 years from now, I can see that happening. When we look back 10 years, you're looking at these same people that are being judgmental of other people, calling people idiots. It's and those words 10 years from now might be words that I can't believe we said that back then. So it's you never know. It's just bro, you got to look everything in the context of the time and the culture. Back then, kids on indie shows did stupid shit all over the place, and that's why there were indie workers and wrestling in front of 20 people and stuff. And it's just there's history of that probably spattered all around this business, and you can dig it up. But it's come on, it's in this day and age, we know that's a mistake that we made back then. So.
Right.